Welcome back to another video, and today we got our Week 4 NFL game predictions. Now, we're going to do the same thing we do every week, and that is predict every single game in Week 4, along with, we're just going to go a quick little recap here when we talk about each team, how they did the previous week, and what we think will happen this coming week. Real quick, before we get started, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new. We do college football, college basketball, NBA, and MLB. So if any of that interests you, make sure you get on there, hit that subscribe button, turn on the noties to make sure you don't miss whenever we are uploading. We're uploading 3 times a week right now. At certain points in the year, it's 4 times a week, maybe even 5 times a week. So yeah, it's a great time to be a part of the channel. Make sure you go on there, subscribe. Links in the description as always. X, Twitch, TikTok, Discord. Make sure you follow those, join those. With that being said, though, let's take a look at the standings, and I have taken first place. I'm a game ahead of Gavin right now. And I will say I've won this the past 3 years in a row. I'm looking for the four-peat. We've only done this for 3 years, so I've won every single year. I'm looking for the four-peat. We'll see if I can continue this, but I am a game ahead. Matthew here in third place, 28 and 20. I will point out Connor, absolutely miserable week, 5 and 12, or sorry, 5 and 11. I don't even know how that happens, but he had a pretty rough week. Sammy's still trying to claw his way back after the pretty bad week 1 performance. With that all being said, though, let's get into the Thursday night game, and that's going to be the Dallas Cowboys going to New York to take on the Giants. Now, an old-fashioned rivalry game. Malik Neighbors, I will say for the Giants, he looks like an absolute beast. I mean, maybe Daniel Jones is better than we thought. I don't know, but the Giants go out and beat the Browns 21-15 last week, and they looked pretty good in doing so. Devin Singletary had a nice game. Malik Neighbors, like I said, absolute beast for them. The Cowboys lose in pretty much blowout fashion. Now, they did claw their way back at the end to make it look closer than it really was. They lost to the Ravens. They fall to 1-2. I think this is a get-right game for Dallas. I think Dallas will, start to figure things out here. I think they get this win here. Ultimately, they're better than the Giants. It is Thursday night. It is a rivalry, but I do think the Cowboys get it done here. I'm expecting a big CeeDee Lamb game. We really haven't seen that so far this year. I could see that happening here against the Giants' lackluster defense. Malik Neighbors, I do believe the Cowboys will slow him down a little bit. He'll have the Trayvon Diggs assignment, so that'll be fun to watch. But yeah, I think the Cowboys defense, really their whole team, just has a get-right game here. I think they get the win over the Giants. Moving on to the Saints going to Atlanta to take on the Falcons, an NFC South matchup here. And this one could really go either way. The Saints last week looked a little bit slow. The offense wasn't as explosive as it was in the first 2 weeks. I think this is more what we can expect from the Saints. Maybe a little bit better. They only put up 12 points, but they lost to the Eagles 15-12. When looking at the Falcons, they are 1-2, also off to a bit of a slow start, but they, play a close game against the Chiefs Sunday nights, only losing by 5 points. They've been in a one-score game all, their 3 games this year. I think this game could be a close game. I think it will be a close game. I'm going to go ahead and go with the home team here. I think the Falcons are still the best team in this division. I said this preseason, I believe the Falcons will win this division. With all that being said, though, I do think they beat the Saints here. I just think, both these teams moving to 2-2 seems pretty realistic to me, if you ask me. Yeah, I got the Falcons here. But this will definitely be a close game. The Rams going to Chicago to take on the Bears. Another game that I do think will be a close game is this game. The Rams without Puka, without Cooper Kupp. Now, last week, they beat the Niners without both of them. Sean McVay, absolute, masterclass coaching job. He is arguably the best coach in the league. I'd probably give it to him. I think he is the best coach in the league. With that being said, though, they're going to Soldier Field to take on the Bears. Both these teams 1-2. The Bears are 3-point favorites at home. I feel like this is a game where Caleb really gets it going. I don't believe I've picked the Bears. I took the Bears week 1, but I picked the Bears to lose the past 2 weeks. I think the Bears go out and get it done. on Sunday. I think I feel like the Bears defense is going to be able to handle the Rams injured offense. Like I said, they've had injuries on the O line, receiving core, obviously. I think the Bears give them some problems here, and I think the offense has a solid day here. I think Caleb kind of shows what we expected to see out of the first overall pick in this game. I think this is the game where he starts to get into his rhythm a little bit. I think the Bears go out and win. An NFC North matchup here. The Vikings, 3-0 Vikings, taking on the 2-1 Packers. And the Vikings, man, are they going to get to 4-0? I mean, it's not like they haven't played anybody. They beat the 49ers week 2, and they go out and blow out the Texans last week, 34-7. Very impressive stuff from the Vikings. Aaron Jones looks really good. Justin Jefferson, as always. Sam Darnold, I will say, maybe he's better than we thought as well. With all that being said, though, they're going into Lambeau. Do I see the Vikings going 4-0? I don't know. The Packers could maybe have Jordan Love in this game. I'd probably expect Malik Willis still. They're favored by 2.5 at home, though. I will say Malik Willis has actually been pretty impressive. They put up 30 points last week against the Titans. Now, it is against the Titans, but he threw for 200 yards and a touchdown. He also rushed for 70 yards and a touchdown. I feel like the dual threat here just really gives his offense a little bit of a spark and obviously I'm not saying Malik Willis is better than Jordan Love, but I feel like it gives him a little bit of a X factor here. I think the Packers go out and get it done. Ultimately, I just can't really see the Vikings going 4-0. I think in preseason I predicted them to have a 5-win season. I don't know. I don't see the Vikings moving to 4-0. I think the Packers get it done in Lambeau. Aaron Jones' revenge game, that could be interesting. A little storyline to watch. Steelers at Colts. Everyone on the Steelers. Honestly, I expected this one to be a split game. I don't know why everyone's on the Steelers here. This is a game that I feel like could realistically go either way. This is arguably the closest game of the week for me. The Steelers favored by 1.5. It's pretty much, I mean, it's essentially a pick'em game. The Steelers 3-0, similar to the Vikings. Do I see the Steelers going 4-0? I mean, the defense has looked elite. They haven't allowed more than 10 points this season yet. Fields looks really good. He's led them to a 3-0 start, obviously, to the season. I don't know. I could see them winning this game, but I feel like this is a game. I know it's against the Steelers defense, so maybe I should be, holding my words a little bit. But the Colts did just go up against the Bears defense, who's very good as well. Anthony Richardson, I feel like, is due for a game where he just goes out and shows what he can do. I feel like the Colts actually win this game at home. Ultimately, though, it's kind of the same thing. I just don't know if the Steelers are realistically a 4-0 team. Maybe they are. This is definitely could go either way, though. I'm going to go with the home team, though. I think this is another game where the Colts just kind of settle down and get right and play their strengths. I think they win in a close one here in Indy. The Broncos going to the Jets. This one, I'm not really seeing the split here. I feel like this is a pretty clear game to pick. I'm going to go ahead and take the Jets. They're 7.5-point favorites at home. The Broncos don't necessarily look very good with Bo Nix. They did beat the Buccaneers last week 26-7, so maybe that's what people are doing here and taking the Broncos, but I feel like this is the Jets pretty clearly. I mean, they beat the Patriots last week on Thursday night 24-3. The defense looks elite. Ultimately, is the Broncos offense much better than the Patriots? Not really. I mean, they're about the same. Maybe the Broncos are a little bit better. Jets still have an elite defense, though. I think they shut them down. I think they win this one, no problem. The Eagles going to Tampa to take on the Bucks. This game could be a sneaky good game. The Eagles facing their second NFC South team in the past 2 weeks. Yeah, like I said, this game, I guess in the past 3 weeks, they played the Falcons week 2 too. So their third NFC South team in a row. This game in Tampa is definitely interesting. Both these teams 2-1. The Bucks coming off a disappointing performance against the Broncos. The Eagles coming off a very close win against the Saints. A.J. Brown, I do believe, is going to miss this game. We'll see what happens with Devonta Smith. I think he's going to play. If he doesn't, I could definitely see the Bucks going out there and getting the win. But as of right now, I think he's playing. I think the Eagles win. I think this is a very close game. Definitely could go back and forth. But I am going to take the Eagles. They're 2-point favorites, so it's essentially a pick 'em game. I'm going to take the Eagles, though, here in a close one. Definitely. That might be the closest game of the week for me. This game, the Bengals going to Carolina to take on the Panthers. The Bengals only 3.5-point favorites. I know the Panthers just won last week and they looked really good with Andy Dalton and all that. And the Bengals are 0-3. But man, are the Panthers really that good? Is Andy Dalton that much of a difference? I feel like it's kind of just one of those things. Okay, it's a new quarterback. You're getting excited. He has a great showing, and I could see him going out there and just doing absolutely nothing this week. The Bengals need a win desperately. This game couldn't have come at a better time. I'm going to go ahead and take the Bengals. I think they get their first win of the season. They desperately need it. We thought they would win against the Commanders. They looked pretty good offensively, but the defense just couldn't do anything against Jane Daniels. I think they have a get-right game. Just figure everything out. I think they win this game. We got an AFC South divisional game here. The Jaguars going to Houston to take on the Texans. Now, in this game, I'm going to go pretty clearly with the Texans. The Jaguars 0-3. They just look bad. I don't know what happened to Trevor Lawrence. Last week, though, on Monday Night Football, they lose 47-10 against the Bills. That is just atrocious. Texans favored by 6.5 at home. It's hard to go against that. I know the Texans did just get blown out as well. But who's the better team here? It's pretty clearly the Texans. They're at home. They're 6.5-point favorites. All the signs pointing to Houston. I'm going to go ahead and take them here in a pretty easy game. Moving on into the afternoon slate, though, the Commanders going to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. This is a battle of the two teams that I thought people were underrating going into the season. And so far, I feel like that's kind of aged pretty well. The Commanders at 2-1, the Cardinals at 1-2, but have looked pretty good through the first three games. The Cardinals favored by 3. Do I think Jayden Daniels has the explosion of a game he had last week against the Bengals here? No. He's a rookie. He's still going to be inconsistent. Now, if he does, we could maybe see the offensive rookie of the year right here in Washington. There's going to be guys. Caleb Williams still got a shot. It's very early in the season. Malik Neighbors, obviously. But Jayden Daniels looks really good, running and throwing the ball. The Cardinals, on the other hand, Kyler Murray looks really good. You know who else looks really good? Marvin Harrison. He's another guy for offensive rookie of the year that could, make some noise. I think he definitely will. He's had an amazing first 3 games. I guess the first game wasn't great, but the last 2 games he's been dominant. The Cardinals lose by 7 to the Lions last week. They didn't look bad, but they just couldn't really get anything going on the ground, and that kind of hurt them. I think they have a nice bounce-back game here. I think James Conner has a solid day against this Washington defense, who many have said that they are the worst defense in the NFL. I don't know if I had to say that, but they definitely are pretty, bottom tier. I think the Cardinals have a nice offensive game, and I think they win in this one. The Patriots go into San Fran to take on the Niners. The Niners are 10-point favorites. Yes, they're without Debo. Yes, they're without CMC. They might be out with Kittle. They might be without Kittle. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and take them. Debo could be out. Kittle could be out. Debo and CMC are out. Kittle could be out. No matter if they have those 3 or not, I'm going to take them here. I think the Patriots are arguably the worst team in the league still. They were my pick for the worst team in the league preseason. I do believe they're still bottom 3 at least. They got blown out by the Jets. I don't think they're going to have any more successes against this Niners defense. The Niners and the Jets defense pretty comparable to me. And then the Niners offense, Jawan Jennings looks like the Niners just keep replacing. I mean, Jordan Mason's had a great first 3 games here without CMC. Jawan Jennings just had the monster game with like 170 yards, 3 touchdowns. They still got Ayuk. Kittle will probably play. This just seems like a Niners pick pretty clearly. I mean, they're favored by 10. I can't really go against that. The Browns going to Vegas to take on the Raiders. This is a game of two teams that look very bad offensively and really just look bad in general. I honestly don't know who I'm going to take here. I think this is a pretty good game for it to be split on. The Browns just lost to the Giants. I mean, there's not much to get excited about there, but the Raiders, I mean, they lost to the Panthers, so like, I mean, pick your poison. Who do you want to put your faith in? Ultimately, I'm going to go with the Browns just for the fact that I still believe their defense is good. You know, Myles Garrett's still out there. I think he's going to play. The Raiders have Max Crosby, but you know, I think the Raiders' offense is pretty bad. Their defense is pretty bad. The Browns' offense is pretty bad, but the Browns' defense I still think is good. So I'm just going to go ahead and find the good here in this matchup. I'm going to take the Browns. Gardner Minshew did get benched last week for Aiden O'Connell. I don't know why they keep putting O'Connell in. If he starts this game, I think I'm going to go with the Browns even easier, but even if Minshew starts, I'm still going to take the Browns here. Amari Cooper had a nice game last week. They're just waiting for Nick Chubb to come back realistically. The Chiefs going to Los Angeles to play the Chargers. They're favored by 7.5. Chargers are going to be without Herbert, it looks like. This seems like a pretty clear Chiefs win for me. The Chargers are 2-1, so they've had a pretty solid start to the season. With that being said, though, it's Mahomes, it's the Chiefs. We're going to go ahead and take them here, especially with no Herbert. Even with Herbert, I'd probably go with the Chiefs. But they're favored by 7.5. Can't really go against that. This Sunday night game is a very good game. The 3-0 Bills travel to Baltimore to take on the 1-2 Ravens. And I will say the Ravens are much better than 1-2. Their record's going to sort itself out. They're one of the best teams in the league. With that being said, do I see them going 1-3? Do I see the Bills moving to 4-0 and the Ravens falling to 1-3? No. That's not the only reason I'm going to take the Ravens, but I am going to go with the Ravens. First of all, they're favored by 2.5, so that already says something. Yes, the Bills just scored 47 points. Granted, it was against the Jaguars' defense. The Ravens' defense is one of those elite groups in the NFL. They got Lamar, they got Derrick Henry, they got Mark Andrews. I know he's done nothing, but they still have him. They have Zay Flowers on offense. The Bills' offense, James Cook has been very good. Same with Josh Allen. This is a pretty close game. You know, you could tell by the 2.5-point spread. With that being said, though, I think the Ravens' defense can slow down the Bills' offense enough. I don't think the Bills' defense... Here's what I'll say. I think the Bills' offense and the Ravens' defense is a pretty even matchup. The Ravens' offense compared to the Bills' defense, though, I'm going to give the edge to the Ravens. I think they'll be able to hold the Bills to a low enough point total, and I think they'll be able to score enough points to get the job done here. I'm going to go in and take the Ravens, mostly just because I don't know if the Bills get to 4-0 on the season and the Ravens fall to 1-3. Not mostly, but that is partially in my head kind of what I'm thinking. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Ravens there Sunday night. We got 2 Monday night games once again. I don't know why they keep doing this. I'm not a fan of it, but the first one, Titans at Dolphins. This matchup is going to be a hard watch. The 0-3 Titans go to take on the Dolphins. Normally this would be a Dolphins game where they'd probably win by 20 points. Now, though, with no Tua, Skylar Thompson, I believe, is injured as well. So they have Tim Boyle as the starter. I mean, at this point, just sign someone. I don't know why they're keeping him as the quarterback. Ultimately, though, the Titans with Will Levis, I don't know how much. I mean, this is a game. The Dolphins are favored by 1 point. It's a pick'em game. I'm going to go ahead and take the Dolphins just because I think they have enough explosivity and pieces offensively where if they can just get the ball to their playmakers, I think they have a good chance of winning this one. And I don't think the Titans' defense is anything scary, I guess. But they will have to limit the turnovers if they want to win. And then the final Monday night game, this game is a very good game. So we got one horrible Monday night game, one very good one. I guess I'll take that. the Seahawks 3-0 going to Detroit to take on the 2-1 Lions, and the Seahawks have won like the past 7 matchups against the Lions. I think I saw, which is kind of crazy. Um, yeah, this is gonna be a really good game. The Lions favored by 3.5. Seahawks undefeated start to the season. They beat the Dolphins last week, 24-3, dominating fashion. Now the Dolphins again were without Tua, but still blew them out. Still hold the offense to only 3 points. And those 3 points were off a Seattle turnover. So yeah, the Seahawks look very good. JSN's getting a lot better. DK's having a great start to his season. I believe Kenneth Walker will be back for this week. Geno Smith still doing his thing. The Lions' offense, though, I just feel like is going to be too much. I feel like the Lions they got to break the Seattle curse, I guess you could say, the Seattle streak. I think the Lions at home in prime time. I think the Lions' defense is going to be good enough to hold the Seahawks to maybe 24 points, and I think that'll be, enough. I think the Lions, I could see like a 31-24 type game here. I think it's going to be pretty high scoring. Both these teams have electric offenses with very good playmakers. The Lions, arguably the best offense in the league. I mean, they're just loaded. Arguably the best O-line in the league. David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta. They're just loaded everywhere. The Seahawks offense is good as well. I don't think it's that good, though. I think the Lions, if it becomes a shootout, I think it favors the Lions. If it becomes a slow game, then it's pretty even. I'm going to go ahead and take the home team, though. I think there's a good chance it does become an offensive game. And are the Seahawks a 4-0 good team? The Seahawks are good, but are they 4-0 good? I don't know. So I'm going to take the Lions here to win this one in prime time. But that's going to do it for the Week 4 NFL game predictions. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure you go down there, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, turn on the noties to make sure you don't miss whenever we upload. Like I said, best time to be on the channel. College basketball and NBA content are coming soon. Those seasons are just around the corner. MLB playoffs just around the corner. We'll be having content for that tomorrow. And obviously college football and NFL every single week. So any of that interests you, make sure you go on there, subscribe. Links in the description, as always, X, Twitch, TikTok, Discord. Follow those, join all those. With all that being said, though, hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys tomorrow with another episode of MLB All Around.